Sharks fans! My name is Jacob Boyd, and I'll be presenting to you guys today the San Jose Sharks versus the Anaheim Ducks rematch preseason Game 3 review. What I have for you today is showing the lines for the San Jose Sharks, what they trotted out on the ice, with a player breakdown of whose stock is up, whose stock is down, and the injuries to note in last night's game. Getting right into the line combinations the San Jose Sharks put out are going to be shown up on the board here. Starting with line number 1, you had the left winger Jacob Peterson, followed by a centering that line was Thomas Bordeleau, and then on the right wing, Filip Zadina. The top defensive pairing was Henry Thrun and Matt Benning. Next, you have line number 2 with left winger Daniil Gushkin, Ryan Carpenter centering that line with Nathan Todd on the right wing. And then in the second D pairing is Radim Shimmick. And then you had his other D partner, Jacob McDonald. On the third line, you have Bailey, Robbins, and Co. And then on defense, you have Hoytuk and Burrows. And then rounding out that lineup on the fourth line is Giovanni Smith, Cole Castles, and Adam Raska. So getting into the top line, which we saw was Peterson, Bordeleau, and Zadina. I thought, Jacob Peterson was just fine on, that line where I think Bordeleau and Zadina were, better. I know this line was a, -2 playing against a more NHL line, that of the Duck side, and which they put out. But I thought they held their own, and I thought Peterson was just fine as the line had a ton of offensive zone pressure, but nothing to reward them. So my stock on him is just even. I thought Bordeleau drove play in the offensive side of the ice. He had a ton of power play time, but just his stick on the Ducks goalie was making incredible saves all night. And so I thought his stock was also even. So Bordeleau's stock even. Lastly, on the top line, we had Filip Zadina, who I thought showed a ton of speed and acceleration again tonight. Just like, he picked up, just like last game. But another thing I seen was him fanning on a lot of shots and not getting all of his shots on goal. It seemed to me he picks his head up to shoot the puck, and he doesn't get all the puck when shooting it. I don't know if that was one of the knocks on him in Detroit, but I'm just curious on what's going on there. And that's his second straight game with him not getting, much shots on goal. Next, you have Filip Zadina, where he got hit. So I want to kind of show you guys that hit. It was really egregious. So here's the Alex Killorn hit. Zadina also got hit from behind in a dirty fashion by Zach Kassin here of the Ducks, where I thought would be a game misconduct. Yet it was only a 4-on-4 with like minute 34 left in the game. So such an uncalled for hit. And on top of that, Radko Gudas, the tough guy the Ducks got from Florida in free agency, comes in and gives a shot to Bordeleau's face in the scrum. And he's the only one that came out with the 2-minute penalty on the play. So 2 cheap shots, in my opinion, at the end of the preseason game, for that matter, is unwarranted and uncalled for. We might see the league coming with some fines after this one. So that's the hit there. One last mention on him, though, is that he really does back check and is very good at stop and starts on the PK, which allows him to force bad passes from players that he pressures with the puck. So my stock is even on Zadina. As for the defensive pairings of Thrun and Benning, I thought was the worst performing D pairing on the Sharks tonight, where they were both -3 and didn't clear out the front of the net, where there was a lot of traffic and a lot of goals tonight. So my stock was down for this D pairing. Next, you have line combination number 2, which was Gushkin, Carpenter, and Todd. along with Shimmick and McDonald on defense. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of time on ice for this pairing. So starting with Daniil Gushkin, 21 minutes of ice time, the highest on the forwards line. He was playing the left wing and he had 8 shots on goal, but a lot was coming from the power play. You can tell Gushkin is a power play specialist. If and when he gets it to the NHL, he has a talent with the puck in the offensive zone. He has the patience that a top player in this league exhibits, and it's nice to see. Gushkin is, in my eyes, he did both good passing and had good shots on net, but the goalie for the Ducks was just a stone wall back there tonight and thwarted most opportunities that came his way. But for Gushkin, on the power play, he got a shot through traffic where Bailey tapped it home. He shot it from the half wall, which squeaked by the goalie and was left on the goal line in that blue paint area. And we got the goal there. Then you had Daniil Gushkin 5-on-5, which was a much different story, though. I think with less time and space he's not as effective, and defensively his game needs to improve, but was the time on ice leader and wasn't a minus player, which was good on for Gushkin. So my stock is even on him. Next, you have Ryan Carpenter centering that line, where I thought he had one good play the whole game, really, where he had a nice hard shot in, I think it was the second period, that just went wide. But other than that, he was quiet all game for a player that you don't want to be quiet playing on the second line. So my stock was down on him. Lastly, on this line, you had Nathan Todd. And man, what a 2-game performance from Nathan Todd. He got another goal last night on another bar down shot from a tight space from the circle. The whole goal happened because of a nice long pass from the defenseman. And I wanted to show you guys that play. So here you'll see, you don't see the long pass from the defenseman, but on here, he kind of gets the pass from a defender. It actually went to Cole Castles, and then Castles kind of bumped it up to Nathan Todd. But the puck went up to, it was a streaking Nathan Todd where he made the shot from the left faceoff circle because a Ducks D-man was, starting to get pressuring him. He elected to take the shot and just made a perfect bar down shot over the goalie's shoulder. This guy looks every bit of 6'6" out there, and yet has some silky, nice mitts like a smaller player does. He also is getting physical out there, which is nice to see. I wonder where he'll end up come training camp and it's going to be interesting to me. So I say stock up on Nathan Todd. I want to go over the deep pairing here with Radim Shimmick and Jacob McDonald. Shimmick got hurt in the first period, so no evaluation on him. But Jacob McDonald had a decent night and was a +1 and had 2 block shots and leading the team with 4 hits. I thought he had an up and down night, though, so I thought his stock was even. Next is the third line with Bailey, Robbins, and Co. With Hoytuk and Burrows as the defensemen. And getting into Justin Bailey, he had a great game where he scored a nice goal by screening the goalie. So I wanted to show you guys that one right now. Let me go ahead and bring that one up for you guys. When the goalie saved the puck, it squeezed by the left pad. So Daniil Gushkin shoots it on net. Bailey's right in front of the goalie. It hits off the shoulder of the goalie and it falls right in the blue paint. And he just kind of taps it home. So he very, very calmly did that. This play really happened because Bailey had, a great screen in front of the goalie, which allowed the goalie not to see the puck fully. It created a puck to squeeze by, and it was just a really tap-in goal from Bailey. So my stock is up on Bailey. It looks like Coach Quinn and GM Mike Greer will have a tough call on this guy towards the end of camp. Moving on to the center line, though, is Tristan Robbins. I, again, didn't love his game tonight. I keep harping on Robbins' play like it was awful at each stop of the rookie faceoff, training camp. and now his third preseason game, but it wasn't great again, in my opinion. His faceoffs were 2 wins and 5 losses, accounting for the second worst of San Jose Sharks, behind Ryan Carpenter in the faceoff dot, where Ryan Carpenter went only 2 wins and 10 losses. Horrible. So, anyways, Robbins had really just one moment in the game where he got a nice shot off, but other than that, it was a lackluster performance for me. I think he really needs to up his defensive intensity if he wants to, sniff the NHL again. So my stock is down on Robbins. Lastly, on this line, you have Brandon Coe. He had 3 shots on net, but largely ineffective tonight. I thought a smaller body of the Ducks were out there outworking him, outmuscling him, and that is never a good sign for a bigger bodied Brandon Coe. So my stock is down on him. As for the final D pairing of Hoytuk and Burrows last night, I did not see a great performance from Burrows, but I did like Hoytuk's play tonight, and Burrows just took too many penalties. So my stock is even for Hoytuk and down on Burrows. Lastly, my fourth line, which was Smith, Castles, and Raska, I thought was a good game for him. And let me go ahead and kind of show you the time on ice again here. For Giovanni Smith, I thought was a good game for him, even though he only got 11 minutes and 4 seconds of ice time. I thought he was effective at using his body all night and was winning the one-on-one battles down low. I think you'll actually see this play from Smith where he won't get a ton of minutes if and when he works himself into the on the NHL team. But look for him to be a grinder, get down low in the offensive zone, and play physical. So my stock is up on Giovanni Smith. Next, you have center Cole Castles, where he had the assist on Nathan Todd's goal, where he bumped up the puck by making that a nice zone entry. This is the second game for Castle to get an assist and really playing well on the fourth line again. His compete and hustle is noticeable, so my stock is up on him. Lastly, you have right winger Adam Raska. He had an okay game. It was marred by him getting hit in the face with a puck early on in the first period. So unfortunately, I can't give him a stock up or down because he just really didn't see the ice much after he got hit. Next, I want to go ahead and talk about the injuries to note in this game. The first one being Philip Zadina. He had an upper body from a hit that Zach Cassian did on him at the end of the game, like I showed you. He got helped off the ice, but David Quinn did say after the game that he should be fine moving forward, but they'll monitor him as they go. Then you had Adam Raska, where he got the puck to the face in the first period. He was slated to come back to the game, so he might be wearing a face shield in the coming practices or games. My opinion is that he might get sent back to the AHL Barracuda. Lastly, Radim Šimić, lower body injury from a collision in the defensive zone. Didn't look great for Šimić as he could barely put any weight on his leg. You really hope it's not serious as he's been hit with the injury bug much of his career. It's really hard, or it's really too bad for Šimić to start out this way. But moving on, my final takeaways for tonight's game are that the Sharks were all over the Ducks in the first period, where the Sharks dominated play and puck possession and also even scored the first goal. Sharks even drew a ton of penalties, which I felt the Sharks were on the power play for most of the first period. Only got the one goal to show for it on that power play, but it was a few late goals by the Ducks that made it a 2-1 game going into the first intermission. In the second, I felt that the Ducks came out forechecking hard and turned the momentum around and got another goal in the middle of the period. And the Sharks couldn't find one past Dostal, who looked incredible in net for the Ducks. In the third, the Ducks put a quick one on the board to make it 4-1. And then the Sharks were just playing catch up from then on. And really, I thought dominated play for much of the third period. The Sharks got a goal from Nathan Todd early to the mid-third period to put the game in reach. But After that, I couldn't get in the back of the net with Dostal really playing well with a 47 save performance. In the end, it was a 4-2 Ducks victory, but a much more Sharks offensive dominated game and a much more competitive game than the previous game versus the Ducks. But yeah, that's it for me. Sharks fans, my name is Jacob Boyd. I am with Hello Sharks fans. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe if you want to see my daily uploads of San Jose Sharks content. I appreciate you all. Thanks again. Peace.